Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My apologies for my last-minute absence. My wife and I were taking a vacation for our anniversary last week, and I had mistakenly assumed that I would be prepped and ready to go by stream time, and I was nowhere close. So ended up needing to spend time getting packed and ready to go. It was a wonderful vacation. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Okay, for tonight, well, back up. Material Design XAML 5.0 release. I've done that the last couple weeks. I've been poking at it the last couple days. Nikolai, thank you very much for the code review. I appreciate it. I will address those last two items. The PR is going to be the large bulk of the 5.0 stuff. There is probably going to be more things that land, and I kind of want to get a 5.0 merged into the master branch, a preview NuGet package out the door, just so that we can let it sit for a little bit, let people play with it, get feedback. It's like I've put in enough things to try to make it easy for people to migrate, but it is going to be a migration step. It's not going to be just a plug and go. One of the things that I think I want to do is build in a bit of a theme editor or some way to make it easy for people to kind of customize and play with the brushes. For those people who think I'm just talking randomly, Material Design and XAML 5.0 release, major refactor of all of the theming brushes. Hopefully the last major refactor for a while, as the intent for this one was to set it up so to make it easier to add a lot more brushes in the future. So hopefully post 5.0, the idea is that most brushes are additions rather than any sort of major breaking change, and there's just new stuff being added rather than breaking things going backwards. But unfortunately, to do that, at some point we got to break the old stuff. But there's shims and automation scripts and whatnot to try to make everybody's lives easy. With that, I know it's going to break people, and I do apologize. But I've done that the last 2 nights that I've been kind of just coding since I got home, which has been great to get home on my vacation. I didn't even take a computer with me, which was both a blessing and a curse. It meant that by the time I got home, my fingers were itching to get some coding done. So tonight, we're going to poke at a different project, one that I've teased on before. But first, a quick announcement. GitCon 2023 is coming up, and they are looking for session speakers. So this is a free conference put on by GitKraken. Even though it may be hosted by GitKraken, the speakers here, and you can go and poke at kind of the website at years past, isn't necessarily Git specific or GitKraken specific at all. There's kind of things across the board related to software development. The sessions here are pre-recorded, but usually the session speaker is in the chat answering questions, that kind of thing, while the stuff is going on. Things are posted after the fact. They've got drawings and whatnot. So, one, if you aren't following GitKraken, do so, because it's awesome and wonderful. And I love me some good GitKraken. And then two, if anybody's interested in speaking, they're open for submissions at least until the 17th of next month. So if you are at all interested in it, go ahead and poke into that. Okay, so the app that we're going to look at tonight is called Pointer, or Pointer Star, as we've unfortunately, I don't know if that's, hang on, I'm missing a couple tools. Things are not running. Karnak, fire it up. There we are. Boom. So Pointer, or Pointer Star, as many people have come to call it, just because of the little asterisk at the end of the name, but the official name is Pointer by decree of my project manager, who informed me that I should stop calling it Pointer Star. Also, side note, I found the summer flavors of Mountain Dew. This one would be the Caribbean Splash guava flavor. It is quite excellent. Not that I needed another excuse to drink Mountain Dew. But the entire premise of this app is a very simple one for doing pointing poker or planning poker, or it goes by a variety of names if anyone is interested. You can kind of read about the idea. The simple idea is that your team joins this. You've got somebody who's either in a facilitator, a team member role, or just an observer role, where they just get to basically watch. There's, I don't know, a good solid half dozen free sites online already that do this. But we ran into problems with a lot of them, either with they're loaded with ads, which annoyed me, or we had reliability issues where things would just go up and down, and we'd be going, okay, scramble midway through a planning session. You're scrambling to find a new website, get everybody signed in, blah blah blah. Yeah, none of this. So this is free. Anyone's welcome to use it. It's just hosted on a little app service. If it gets a ton of usage, I might have to actually like upgrade the app service onto something beyond, ye cheap tier. But it's very simple from the main site here. We'll do this. Boom, boom. There we go. Right? It's very simple. There's one big button. You click the create button. It randomly generates a room name. If you don't like the generated room name, make up your own room name. It's that easy, right? It's just a little thing on the end. You need someone playing the facilitator role to basically toggle to show votes on and off and to click the reset votes when you move on to each ticket. There's a little voting timer. And that's kind of the sum total of it. There's not a ton here. People in the voting role, they can vote. And the big idea is that you don't get to see the votes of everyone else until after the votes are revealed. So that's the idea. Is it's supposed to try to eliminate the idea of people just deferring to whoever's been on the team the longest or whoever the senior developer is. It's a way for the team to try to work towards a consensus of how big is an item, right? So usually our team, there's a bit of discussion. We go back and forth, ask questions, make sure everybody's clear on what the request is of the ticket, and then everybody goes through and votes. And there's some debate about which items are useful. Like these 34, 55, 89 rarely get used by our team because something of that size is just so bloody big that like this is a swag. Like there's no, you don't know how big it is. It's big, really big. Because for our team, a single person, like the average velocity is usually about somewhere between 13 and 21 points of spread. Give or take. It depends. Like it can vary a lot. But somewhere in that vicinity is usually about how the velocity on our team has kind of trended towards. But it's worth noting, points are variable per team. They have no meaning. They are only relevant to the team because you're supposed to start out by picking your stereotypical story of, everybody on the team picks a story that, has been done in the past. It's very clear, hindsight is 2020. Find your stereotypical 8 story. This is the size of a story that our team deems to be an 8. Maybe find one for a 3 as a reference point, and then point everything based on that, right? Everything, all the points are relative. It's just how big are they? And then you kind of can use measure velocity and figure out, okay, if we're all sizing things based upon the same agreed upon standard, right? It's not, is this 1 pound? It's, is it bigger or smaller than this rock that we've declared to be 1 pound? Whether it's 1 pound or not is irrelevant. And then, you can kind of figure out, okay, how many pounds of rocks can we move? Are they real pounds? No. So all that to say, this is something built in the past. We'll pull the repo. We'll take a look at stuff. Actually, we can pull the repo now real quick if anybody wants to play along at home. Here's the repo. PR is always welcome. Yada, yada, yada. Ooh, I haven't protected my main branch. Let's just do a minor amount of stuff to here. There's not a lot of people working. Oh, I need my phone now. Dang it. 2-factor off. Stand by for 2-factor off. There's not a couple of colleagues and me work on it together, so there's a handful of people that play on this, but sometimes it really is just, the solo dev. But we'll put at least a minor amount of branch protection on there just to keep me honest, because I need to be kept honest at times. But MudBlazor. This is a library I was poking at, and it looks kind of cool. So this here, we kind of rolled a lot of this by hand. It works. It's fine. This looks pretty. More importantly, this has material design theming, which makes my heart happy. So I had an inclination to give it a try. So, and to be clear, there's a lot of Blazor libraries out there. This one just had a pretty website, a pretty trial, and it made it look easy. And I went, I like easy. So you can come in here. They've got this cool little setup with the nice interactive everything, preparing project, do the builds, and you can come in here and go, whoa, MudBlazor is awesome times 5 or 6 or 7. Really depends on how many times you click. But I figured, let's give it a shot. So the easy way to get started is apparently they've got some .NET new templates. Great, love it. That's wonderful. I already got an app, so I don't really want to do that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go down this path and see how this rolls. And we're going to just see how easy this is to plug in, because frankly, I have no idea. Okay, step 1, manage NuGet packages. And we're going to do this. There's MudBlazor, grab it. Now, I think, looking at this, I just need to add this to, where do I want this? My program CS, I want to add stuff to my index HTML or layout CS HTML or all of that jazz. I think all of that stuff is going to end up living here for my setup. So for those people unfamiliar with the structure, because you can do Blazor in a variety of different ways. In this case, we have a client project, which is our WASM, our Blazor. So this is the website that gets pulled down to the browser, run as part of the WebAssembly. Think about being able to run C# in a browser. So rather than JavaScript being king, hey, we can use something else like C# and feel happy, which makes me happy. But then you still need, like, just because you've got a little WASM thing that runs in a browser, something has to serve that up. Something has to manage, like, the communication, right? So we've got a server project here, ASP.NET Core, all the usual happiness and things that come along with that. There are some pages. The primary purpose here, though, is to have a Signal R hub, so that when, you know, users are clicking votes and changing things, right, there's the fancy real-time communication going back and forth, and then a basic bit of a controller, because occasionally, darn it, you need the server to do a little bit of work, like, you know, generate me a new room, right? Woohoo! And away we go. Get new user role. Oh, I forgot we did that. That's clever. Hash IDs. Oh, that's interesting. So I've got the new spell checker turned on, which, for reference, Visual Studio Preview, this feature here is, this reason alone is worth installing the preview. Where is it? Get stuff. Where are you? This right here, right? This is why we install VS Previews, because I can't spell, and we finally have a built-in spell checker. Hallelujah. The only thing I'm not overly thrilled with is that because you can do things like, for example, if I want to add this and ignore it, so just add it to my known words dictionary. This dictionary, at least as I understand it now, because I had to go edit it by hand, is per user on my computer, not per repo, which is kind of yucky, because oftentimes the things that I'm adding to my spell checker list are proper nouns, you know, product names, company names, etc. And it would be really nice if I could have that be per repo. And I haven't poked around to know if there's a way to configure that, but I didn't see it and it wasn't obvious. So, okay, back to NuGetting all the things. So I believe we just need it in the client for now, and install. Install happy, all the things. Okay, so we have done the equivalent of this. And then in our imports, it wants us to add a global using. Sure, we'll go ahead and do that. LMN. M goes before pointer. Great. Okay. Let's make that a little bigger. Okay. Let's see. Add fonts and style references. So it wants us to bring this stuff in. So either index HTML or layout CSHTML or host CSHTML, depending on whether you're running WebAssembly or server. So let's go here. Let's see. I believe where I need to remember how this is set up. This is going to take me just a brief moment while I reorient myself on whatever the heck I was doing. I think we're on the... Yeah, index HTML. Okay, I'm like, man, I feel like this is where I'm at. Okay, so we are doing link href. These are style sheets. Got it. So we're going to go up here somewhere around, you know what? We are probably going to want to end up killing off like the font awesome one at some point or similar. We'll see, but we'll put that in for now. Let's see, add a script reference, same file, but located at the end. Got it. So we come down here, body, script, boom, done. Okay, removing references. The default Blazor template loads Bootstrap. This is no longer needed. It can be removed. Remove the Bootstrap, open iconic folder as well if you decide to get rid of Bootstrap from your project. The site CSS file you can either remove or keep, but make sure you clear it out of content. So we want to burn some stuff down. Got it. Okay, so if we come in here, we don't need this. The site CSS, I believe. Trying to remember if that ends up being here or here. But short version, we can burn this to the ground. So we're going to burn it to the ground. And open iconic, we can apparently burn to the ground. Excellent. The site CSS, I think it must be this app CSS. So we're going to just burn that to the ground. Everything's just going to go away for a bit. There we go. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Okay. Just make sure, did I miss anything? Let's see. We do not want that. We do not want that. And then, yeah. There's no way this bites me here in a moment. Iconic. Okay, so that was all the references there. Okay, so we've reset ourselves mostly to where the docs say to go, and then inside of here, net 6 all the things, we do that. Okay. Excuse me. I think I'm allergic to web development. Okay. Did they say where to put it? Does it really matter? Probably doesn't. It's probably as simple as add it in the program CS sometime before the builder starts up. So yeah, great. And then that added in the appropriate using, and away we go. Perfect. Add components. We need happiness in our main layout Razor. The theme provider is essential, but the rest is optional. Darn it. Snack bars and dialogue sound great to me because I kind of want both. So we're going to do them all. Main layout.razor. Don't know where to put you. Don't know where to put you. So we're just going to put you right at the top. Okay. And apparently that's it. So let's see if it works. If it really is that easy, I'm going to be shocked. Well, did it completely blow up? It didn't completely blow up. And you'll note I've got a launch settings.json that just defaults me into a room preemptively. That's not right. That's also not right. So this is probably not what we were expecting. Okay, so we've lost all of our styling on the main room, which is kind of expected. Which I think is likely, this is probably an artifact of the default page that's supposed to have the spinny while it loads up, because this is supposed to look like this, and then it gets swapped out when it actually has it. Create room gets us into here. Okay, so we've lost basically all our CSS because we deleted it. So that's not exactly shocking. I do think what I'd like to do is look at what their default template does and kind of work backwards from there. So let's do this. Let's go here. Nope, that's my running application. Let's do something different. Okay, so make your MudBlazor test. There. And then we're going to do this. Install all the things. Let's see. What does it complain about? .NET new install. Oh, don't use -- install. Just .NET new install. Got it. Okay. So it added that in. And then I would like to do the needful there. Yeah, sure. We'll literally do the exact their sample. I just want to see what it does. So because I am curious. Okay, so fire this guy up and let's see what he does. Because it said host WASM, so I assume this is just going to be the equivalent of the client, and that's it, which is fine. That's all I. No, not IIS Express. Their .NET new template. I don't like. Oh yeah, hush. Okay, so it does loading, and then it pops you into here, and you've got all this. Okay, so I want to look at what their index.html looks like. They do something more like this. This is a much more simplistic setup. So I think we're gonna just steal a little bit from this because we don't need anything fancy, and ours has gotten a bunch of extra stuff in here. So collapse you. So we just need a body because I want this in here. Yeah, so let's just grab this, paste it here. Let's grab this line here and put it here. And then we're going to get rid of this whole body here. And then let's check up here. So we've got the viewport, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Title's fine. Base ref. Ours has an icon. And then they're pulling in Roboto, which I kind of like better. Oh, wait, we've already got that. We've got that down here. So we probably don't need, I'm gonna just ditch some stuff here real quick. So probably don't need that. These are for Apple PWA bits. And I think I don't need this guy anymore. Okay. So I think that is good. Okay. Let's go there. Relaunch and rebuild. We may change up this guy is unfortunately cached, but there's our little loading thing, so nothing fancy. And we got that. Okay, so that gets us in let's start with something simple, right? So we've got our index.page. I want to know what they do to make their pages. So let's take a look here. Index.razor. What do we got? Page. They don't even do. We explicitly call out our layout. What's their layout look like? Main layout. Let's see. So we've got inherit component base. Got a little bit of action going on there. And then they do this with the mud layout, whereas we've embedded a bunch of stuff down here. So I think I want something relatively similar to this, because I want to be able to have pretty bits here. Let's go back to the docs, because I think this is where I want to look at the layouts. Blah, blah, blah. The mud layout, mud main content with the body is sort of the default. App bar and drawer. We don't want a drawer, but I do want an app bar. So I want something more akin to that without the drawer. So let's come back here. I want to get rid of the drawer. I do like the app bar. I want to get rid of... I don't want you to toggle. That's a spacer. I kind of want to do an icon at the beginning. But I am wondering, how do I put in my own image? But let's do that for the moment. This is just doing links. Those are like mud text. Great. It's kind of what I want. Let's look at the docs real quick. So there's navigation and menu. Just kind of hoping they would show me how to do something to the right. That's all the navigation stuff. That's just containers. Let's see. App bar, drawer, usage, wireframes. Drawer left, top app bar. Top app bar with clipboard drawer. That's not really what I want. App bar only. That's kind of what I want. Show copy wireframe. Look at that. That's, see, I love that. Love that. That is what I'm talking about. Literally, make my life as stupid, brain dead as I can possibly get. Okay, so that's gonna look like that. Icon button here. Oh, that's right. I wanted to look up the mud text to see how I do dashboard grid, checkout. Where do I see all of the components? Docs, components. There we go. What's your texty control? Typography. That's what I want to see. Mud text. There we go. I think we just want to do something in this vicinity. Oh, look at that. It has a line right. Okay, this makes me so happy. Okay, so I want to do something like mud text. I would like to set the content to be this lovely guy. I would like to do align or end. Yeah, okay. And then I would want to do the typography, which is going to be typo. Let's do like an H4 and see what that looks like. And then I think Yeah, all this dies. Okay, so MudBlazor, you make me so happy. Trying to make a web developer out of me yet. Still kind of want to kill that cache. Open dev tools. Let's see here. Was it here? Where's the local storage? I want to just toast everything because it downloads and stores Blazor resources. Isn't there a, yeah, delete. Kind of want to just burn it all to the ground. Paused in debugger. Go. There we go. Okay, so we got a pointer star. That's a little big. We just drop off the typography. I guess what else do we have? Because there was body level. Let's try it. What does subtitle look like? Do I have to in order to use it, would you like to enable it? Yes. Do you want to stop debugging? Yes. I would like the fancy auto update button to work. Pretty please. Loading. Better. Okay. I think that works. What is it? What did we... Oh, I left this thing here. Boom. Okay. So that put in a spacer. Now if I do browser link, how do I deleted the element? Oh, perfect. That's what I want. Okay. Excellent. That gets us, because we really want that to land here. We'll have to change theme colors at some point because, darn it, I want dark theme enabled again because this is a developer thing. Okay, so that gets me to there. That gets me a version number. That gets me the main body content. Huzzah. Okay, now we're talking. So let's go back and look at our index page. Let's change our... Let's real quick look at our apps, our launch settings, because Oh, I'm not launching this one. Okay, hang on. Close all tabs. If we go down and look at the one that I'm actually launching, look at my launch settings. I've got test room. Oh, I guess I could just set it to HTTPS and be good. Okay, that'll get me to my room. So I just got to change that when we get to it. Okay, so index, we've got this. So let's take a quick gander at theirs. For their pages, because I think theirs was pretty simple. They've got a page title, which I don't know if we actually need to do much with, but we've got a page title. We've got the route defined. We are calling out our layout. Do we really need that? So we're doing the same layout in both cases. We probably can just do it once to be done, right? Main layout. Yeah, I think we can get away. So I think we can get away with this. Let me just look at theirs really quick and see, because something in the back of my mind is telling me that you have to specify your default layout somewhere, and I don't know where that is. Layout view, type of main layout in your app.razor. Got it. Yeah. So default layout, main layout. Yeah, so we don't need to specify the layout if it's lining up with our main layout. So we can axe that. That goes away. Just doing some DI injection. And then we want to set up kind of a simple page for what we want to do. Yeah, and in our case, we really just want something really simple that has a centered button, and away we go. Right, so this thing here is not doing anything fancy. It's just trying to leverage the grid system there. And so really what I want to do is probably a mud button. Yep. Not a line, is there? Class color command. I don't know how to do alignment yet, so that may be an interesting problem. But okay, so there's that. There, we're gonna do that. This thing is going to be create room. That's gonna go there. And the goal here is to get this thing down into a, let's see, and we can do a on click is going to be navigate to room. That much works. Okay, so the alignment's probably off, but I now expect that I can do a, if I click hot reload, stop debugger. We'll drop this down into HTTPS so it stops trying to jump the base page. Why were we injecting the HTTP client? Oh, because we needed you to, I got it. I'm done. Okay, so the question is, why do I no see mud button here? Because this should be routing. And I should have something here, right? Open DevTools. Elements. Is there anything in my body? Mud layout. Oh, did I leave the body bits commented out in my layout? Yes. Well, but that's still right, isn't it? See, this is what happens when you have a non-web dev do web dev work. Let's see, shared main layout. Because you need the at body is what it's. You need that magical sauce. I think. I was kind of hoping that main content thing did something magical for me and saved me some effort, but. Okay, well, there's a button. It's not styled properly, but I got a button. And I can't quite click this to go back to the root. So, okay, so I need to make the header bar clickable. I need to get the icon in there. I need to change some colors. We got some work to do. And I want to figure out how to theme the button. So we go up here and we go buttons. Okay. I kind of want to just do color primary. So I think I want a filled button. I don't want to disable. Yeah, so I think I want to do something about like this on my button. So let's start there. Index.html, something about a mud button. There we go. Okay, so we do something like that. Hot reload. You gonna be happy for me? You're the wrong one. You the right one? You're the right one. Boom. Style the button. Okay, there. Button is styled. It's incorrectly positioned. It's completely wrong. But it is okay. But now we at least got the style of the button. Okay, so now let's look at some layouty things. How do I do this? Spacing. This is a grid. I kind of like, this is how I centered it before, is I just slapped it in a grid and Flex started it, but I'm wondering if I've got a better option here. Because it would be kind of cool if I could, like, I'd love to make it bigger, and like I'm wondering if maybe a card would make more sense. That's maybe not. Okay, let's look for something that would make sense for layout. These all look more like, these are all the individual components. Ooh, default theme. Let's see. How do I set you to dark mode is question one. This is a very important question to ask. How does one change the theme? Theme provider, great. Toggle light dark mode. Oh, it's really that hard? That's kind of easy, guys. That is kind of easy. That is a little too easy. Dark palette just set is dark mode to true. Well, I don't really feel like giving control. Oh, we can check the user's get system preference. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Well, that's just a little too awesome. So we're gonna plug that in real quick because why not? Let's see. So that was here. You're not biting me, are you? Oh, you might be biting me. We might need to do something about this. Just to make sure you don't get in the way, we're just gonna comment you out. Here. So this guy, theme provider, right? So this guy needs to be up here, and we want to get rid of that one. And then we've got this. Let's see here. There you go. Okay, so we're gonna do make you nullable. What assigned the theme provider? Did I miss a step here? Did I miss a step? I feel like I'm missing something. Most notably the thing that assigns to this value. Unless that ref magically does it. I'm curious if that ref magically does something. Because my system is set for dark mode. So if this thing automatically toggles to dark mode, I'm going to be tickled to death. Jared, how's it going? We're playing with Pointer Star and doing Blazor-y things. And... oh... that's so cool. That is... okay, that's pretty cool. So... that is pretty much awesome. Okay, so I don't like doing that. I'm gonna do return task, completed task. So yeah, so Blazor for web or desktop apps. This is technically, well, the line gets blurry. The line gets really blurry. So this is the running application as it sits today. Now, you can install it as a PWA. So does that count as a desktop app? But yeah, so I'm playing with a library called MudBlazor that I came across, which so far has been an absolute treat to use. Just gonna say that. So, and to some degree, I kind of like playing with these other libraries because they always give good inspiration about, what things did they do well that I might want to poach from. So one thing that it does very well that I think the material design and XAML library actually does decently well is providing code snippets to copy. Now we probably need more and better samples. That's a given. Ooh, sweet. MudBlazor and material design and XAML. Excellent. So you can help. Because this is my first adventure into MudBlazor. It looked cool and it looked awesome, and so I went, you know what? Let's have some fun. Ooh, here we go. Here's the layout stuff. Here we go. This looks kind of cool. Got it. Oh, Flexbox. There we go. This is kind of what I'm thinking I want to do, because what I'm really looking to do is, this is the landing page, right? This is not advanced. There's a version number, there's a clickable image, and there's a button. I don't know if I could have come up with a more simple UI, right? There's not a lot, and so far, every user that we've thrown at this app, all like 8 of them, no one has gotten confused on this page. They're all pretty clear on what to do. And most of the time, they don't ever see this page because they're just being given links directly into an existing room, right? Because you can make up whatever room you want of, Kevin's room. Because, right, if you just click the create room button, it just gens a unique string for you. But other than that, and nothing is persisted. All of this stuff is in memory. So every time I deploy out, it wipes everything. So yeah, that's not great. There's no persistence here at all. Nothing is saved. Everything's highly volatile, but it works. Okay, so I may not spend too much time trying to get that logo. Looks nice. Well, you will be happy to know I had nothing to do with this logo. My illustrious project manager made it and handed me the file. So I didn't have to do a thing. He cared more about pretty. And I'm like, you know what? Give me whatever picture you want. We'll plug it in. So Alan gets credit. Okay, so let's kind of bypass doing much more on the main page for the moment, because we can futz around with aligning buttons and whatnot later. Let's get on to trying to replace the meat and potatoes of the app, because there are a handful of features that I'd like to plug in. Oh, okay, just having the built-in theme stuff, mwah, mwah, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so this is clearly not right. And this is broken in so many ways. But the idea here, if we go and look at the room page, because the room page has a bunch of stuff going on. So specifically, when you first land on the here, when you first land on this page, you're given this kind of dialogue, and you get to type in whatever name you want, and you get to pick your role, right? I'm a facilitator. I'm a team member. I want to participate in voting, or you know what? Hey, I'm just here to observe. We occasionally get various people who might be stakeholders that show up to our meetings, and they're like, "Oh, that's kind of a cool site. Can I get in and watch?" It's like, yeah, sure. Hit the observer role. No problem. And occasionally I'll just sit in the observer role because I'm not necessarily always an active member of the work that's being done, so I'll just sit and observe. So it's like, hey, hang out there. But there's no enforcement of anything. There is zero Zero rules. And again, because everything's volatile in memory anyway, whatever. But this is the view that we're kind of going for here. But that means that I think I want to look at their dialogue-y thing, because they have a dialogue. And I think that's what I want to do next. Okay, so open simple dialogue. Yes, this is what I want. I want dialogue. Okay, so they have an iDialog service. And then we have a dialog.razor that actually contains the content of it itself. Let's see. Dialog usage, simple dialog options. Okay, this seems easy enough. So we need, step one, we need this. Okay, so we go up to the top and we go, I need a free service, gimme. Okay. Semicolons are important. Or are they? Do you not need the semicolons here? Have I been just putting semicolons out of habit? I think I have been. The C# in me is twitching here because everything needs a semicolon, but apparently you do not need a semicolon. I learned something new. Sweet. Okay, so we want to pop the dialogue. Oh, and we may not need to do the injection here. So we're doing kind of more of an MVVM style here, so we can probably get away with this guy here has a bunch of stuff. This is too wide. This is too wide. I can't look at myself anymore. Can't look at myself in good conscience. So I need an dialog service using MudBlazor. That'll work. Great. Sudo give me a dialog service, and then let's see. Create an assigned property. Nope, not the button I wanted. Null check, pretty please. That'll work. And then where did you put that? We don't need that public. Goes like that. Okay, so in here, when we come in, there is a condition in here about is observer vote start time. There's a lot of conditions around all of this HTML. We're probably going to end up having to burn it to the ground. Let's see, view model name, room ID. That's fine. That's just 40 members through. I'm looking for where we did the dialogue before. Let's see, navigate, clipboard results. Yeah, we'll want to do the snack bar thingy-mabobber. That's the user. These are showing all of these things. Where the heck did we do the dialogue? Oh, here we go. That's where we did the dialogue. Okay, so I'm gonna see. This is why we gotta break this apart. This one little page contains the meat of the application, and it's a big. Okay, is name modal open? So this guy is the one that's doing the toggle, and then he's showing this whole thing here, and doing this maneuver. Why do we have? Oh, it needed to conditionally add this div in for a back shadow. Okay, that's a little too much. Okay, so let's come back here. We need to create. So let's see. How do you pass the dialogue here? Let's see. Suppose you define a MUD dialog, terms of service dialog, to show the dialog. You simply call terms of service. Boom. Yep, I like the idea of putting the dialogue in my own little Razor component. That sounds good. And then either globally or pass down the global settings. See, I think we can probably do these global settings. This is largely a single page app. And I don't think we need to change too much. From dialog. Yeah. I don't need to change templating, passing simple data. Great. So there's parameters that pass through. I assume you receive them on the other side. Yep. Great. Huzzah. Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. Passing data. I think I'm more interested in returning data from it. But I don't... Is there a... Yeah, dialog result. Result canceled. So it might be that simple. Scrollable dialog, blurry. Oh, that's cool. I like that. This makes me want to add this to material design in XAML, where rather than just graying it out, you can do a blur background. That feels like a fun feature to implement. Okay, that goes on the backlog. I want to implement that. That sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. Inline dialogue. I mean, sure, but ick. This could work for us. Let's see here. Because then you just bind as visible. Wow, there is so much overlap with the material design library. I like this. It makes me feel very at home. Nested inline dialogues. Oh, dear heavens. Keyboard navigation. Don't care. Focus trap. Care a little bit. Not that much. Default focus less trap. Okay, great. Sure. Okay. So that's... So I think I like the idea of putting it in its own file rather than inlining it, just for readability's sake. So we really just need to create a mud dialog in a new Blazor thing. So what do we call this thing? User dialog, I think is what we're going to call it. Let's see, Blazor component. Let's see, let's go something like that. And then we're just going to cheat. We're going to start with exactly what they have because there's no way that bites me ever. Okay, so that comes in here. That comes in here. We get that set up. That gets shown. All of that works, right? So, great. Here we have this on a prompt. But in our case, we want to actually proc it on that Boolean. Is name modal is name modal open. So this is more like binding to is open, but I don't think we actually care about this. I think we only really care to set. I think we just want to do it here. And then we want to do user dialog. Something like that. I don't know. User dialog. What is this string parameter? Title. Oh, what was it called before? That's going to show up. Please enter your name. Let's just do that for now. Works there, that works there, that works there. Let's see. Spell checker for the win. Thank you, spell checker. Let's see how this goes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That is awesome. Straight up awesome. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so now we've got the dialogue. Now let's put the contents in the dialogue that we want. So previously, I'm gonna not look at the code. It just has the text box with your name and I want to, and then this kind of radio button-y style. Right? So that's hopefully not hard, because what we want then is, well, how do I do that? So this is a long-standing problem with me, is I don't typically remember how to do appropriate layout stuff. So let's go down here. So I think they had some nice samples. No. No. Yeah, how do you, got it. Okay, so it's just that. So it's not, okay, so it's not that fancy. Not that fancy. Okay, so let's do, we'll steal this for a moment, and we're gonna come back over here. We're gonna go, ding. Okay, and then we want to lay out some stuff in here. And I want probably a mud text field, I'm assuming. And then I probably actually, this is one of those cases where I think I want to end up doing an MVVM style thing, and I don't quite know how to do it. Oh, so this is where you can do dialog result. Ah, and this is how you can pass data back. Got it. Okay. So you can do a dialog result okay, or cancel. Got it. And then your T can be whatever payload you want to send back. Perfect. I need some POCO to represent my user's data. That is what I am missing. What are you unhappy about? What? Found unexpected. Oh. Mud TE. Am I the only one who doesn't see the Mud TE portion of this thing? Just close and reopen. I feel like Visual Studio's lost its mind. Yeah, Visual Studio lost its mind. Sorry. I'm getting pinged from other people. Okay, so I don't really want to cancel. So we can get rid of that. Cancel's not a thing. I mean, well, hold on. We shouldn't say cancel's not a thing, because we do want the user to be able to click off the dialog and have it close. We want to have that split. Okay, so I want to go look at the docs on the text field. I think is what I want to do next. Or form, maybe? Form's an input. This is what I want. Okay, so I would like a field. And if I could get, I would really love the equivalent of the floating bit. Yeah. Mud field, render fragment, child content. This is great, but what? Oh, so I just want mud field. Show code. Okay, so I don't know why this doesn't appear to be editable. But I think this is what I want. We're gonna do that, And let's go here. And so I don't want a text field. I want a mud field labeled. We're going to do name. And then I want to find something that is the equivalent of those radio button things. So forms and input. I want some sort of radio button-y selector. Do you not have radio buttons that don't look like that? Let's see here. What do we got? Check boxes. Those all look like check boxes. None of those are what I want. Form. None of that is what I want. I like the buttons that we did. I guess I could look and do step sliders. Those are all switches. And those are, okay, sure. Those are cool, but not quite what we want. Let's look at button, I guess. Button group. Yeah, this is what I want. I want a button group. Size and colors. Vertical button group. Icon button group. Great. That's fine. That is fine. The only thing I'm wondering about, do I have to build out the selection state myself? I mean, I'm fine with that, but show me the code. Show me the code. I think I like the outlined variant. So we're going to do this. And we want this to go here. And we're going to do that. And we want to do something like vote. What's the old one called? Vote, facilitate, and observe. Vote, hate, observe. Okay. Let's do that real quick and make sure that that gets me what I want. Okay, so launch. Jump into a room. I can't type, which immediately makes me think that I picked the wrong thing. Forms and input. Why is this hard? Text field. Yeah, this. I want that behavior right there. Whoop. Show code. Oh, see, I got it wrong. I do want the field. I'm an idiot. Okay, so aside from being an idiot, bind value. Not be there. Make you happy. Make you happy. And then the label is going to be name. But I do want that behavior. I'm trying to assign, maybe I want the outlined behavior. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know if we need that. Disables, read only. Okay, that's cool. You've got the text counter, the adorners. Great, great. Binding properties. There. Show me the code. Great. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. Sorry, I do like just occasionally reading through these to know what the capabilities are, because it's always nice to know what's out there. Okay, short version, more than what I care about. Okay, so the only other thing that I'm going to need to deal with then is the selection state on these buttons, as well as wanting to put in a I want to put in a 2-column setup, and I think that comes down here to this, right? Because this guy here is doing the, and this is where my lack of knowledge in this Flexbox stuff is going to show. Deflex, right? Applying conditionally, blah, blah, blah. See, because I'm looking at the flex column. I don't understand the PY1. Because this sets it up. Column, I assume that's got to be like tiny 1 or something to that effect, but let's see. Row reversed, basic usage. Just don't know. Because effectively, I want to be able to put in a because I want one guy to fill. Let's see. Hey, what kind of website do you want to do? So we're rebuilding the one here using MudBlazor. And I'm trying to replicate effectively this kind of layout. Yeah, this is my very first introduction to MudBlazor, and I have to say it's impressing me quite a bit. I am very happy with this. Now, my lack of knowledge in it is definitely showing, but I feel like this is not that hard. And like for some of these things, it seems like I can just get away. What I really want to understand, and I haven't found yet, is what this PY1 is. And I have to believe it's defining something about that a single column, but I don't know what it does. And it's bothering me that I don't know what it does, because I'd like to understand. Would not have started with Blazor without MudBlazor, because I'm new to web programming, and MudBlazor makes it so much easier. Agreed. I am not a big web developer. I do a lot more thick client stuff. Let's see. Probably padding top and padding bottom, just like Tailwind. That would make sense. And that would mean that I would find it one of these things in here. Basically, I want to know what it is so I can change it. Because at the end of the day, what I'd like to do is, well, let's do this. If I go back here, right? Because what I want is I want mud text, right? Because I want to do something like I want to ... right? Because that's what the original dialog has when it pulls up, is that, and then the 3 buttons. Right? We may do some fancy coloring with them later. I'll muck with that on a different point. That doesn't bother me for the moment, because I'll need to change some state to make these things behave more like radio buttons. But if I do, if true, the thing, yes. That, and if I do this, does that separate? Basically, I want to figure out how to put that guy into row 2 and this guy into row 2. Space and size. Ha. Thank you, Hungry Hippo. So PY for margin top padding. Okay. Use the margin of padding. You can also use a mud stack. Haha. See, I'm learning so much. I am learning so much. Okay, so I'm guessing I see stack. Hey, look at that. Cool. So this works just like a stack panel in WPF. I love it. I love it. It makes my head it makes my head work the way it should. Excellent. And I guess it's more akin to a stack layout in Maui than in WPF. I like this. This should be simple. Okay, so let's do that instead, because that makes my life a lot less thinky. And then I can work with something that conceptually fits my model. I do that, and then I guess I do this. This is probably not the ideal way to do it because it's probably increasing a lot of nesting, but you know what? What works, which ships. And then it was row gets true. That way it puts those things in line and the world's a happy place. Sweet. Thank you, Matt's Powers. That is awesome. Okay, so create room. Insert cackle here. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And then we've got that. Great, great, wonderful. Everyone's happy. Okay, so next thought. How does one do... I would like, and I think I can just get away with this idea of doing a component base with a... Because I'd like to do this a little more MVVM-y. User dialog view model, right? So for anybody confused about what the heck, let's see, Teletech, Blazor, MVVM. There was a wonderful talk. Yeah. There's this. So my company put on a .NET thing several months back. I'm going to go about 5 months ago, give or take. And a colleague of mine, Kelly, did this session on MVVM and Blazor, basically combining the MVVM Community Toolkit, which is an awesome library for anybody doing MVVM work, and then slapping it in and using it with Blazor WASM. So that's pretty cool. I thought there was a... if I do videos, dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Ahaha! See, but I am not... Woo. Kelly, I love listening to you, but not right now. But if anybody's interested, there's his session. And he kind of goes into the basics of MVVM stuff and the samples and all that jazz. So if anybody's interested. But to go along with that, that is kind of what we have set up here as well, just in terms of setting this up. So if we go here and we go something like user dialog view model, which I kind of don't even like the name of the class to begin with. Specifically, I don't like the idea that my view model has the word dialog in it. Dialog is very UI thingy, and yeah, generally the whole point of the view model is to separate that out so you don't have that crap. But I've only drank 1 can of Mountain Dew, and naming things is hard. So, for what it's worth, we will now move on to the passion fruit punch flavored Mountain Dew portion of the evening. Okay, so observable object, because we like this, we like to make you partial, because that's, we're going to turn caps lock off because that's not how we code. We don't do shouty case. But the idea here is that we can then leverage all of the wonderfulness that is here. Oh, that's right. We probably want view model base as our observable object is the MVVM one, but we do this kind of thing here. This is a little abusive in how it ends up notifying state changes on all the properties, but it works really well, especially for something kind of small where performance isn't a huge concern. So, okay, so next up, what do we need? We need an observable property. Let's see, private string. Oh, Copilot, you're on point today. You are on point today. Okay, Copilot, what do I want now? That is not right. That is not right. You are completely and utterly wrong. You should feel bad about yourself. Okay. What did I bind the other one to? Because I needed to have effectively a role ID. What did I do before? I did something. It wasn't brilliant, but it was in here. So I just bound to a list of GUIDs, right? Because these are a set of known GUIDs all the way through here. This is also a drawback of the new spell checker in Visual Studio. That's a GUID. Knock it off. Yeah. So let's just do GUID role ID. Private GUID. How about selected role ID? We'll do that. For people who are unfamiliar with this, this is generating up a bunch of code for us that will give us a nice data-bound property that we can then use and abuse for all of our wonderful needs. But then it also gives us the ability to do fancy stuff where we can just straight bind to things, which works out quite well. I'm trying to remember if there was something else I needed to do. Hungry Hippo, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. I don't think I need to do anything because I believe by deriving from component base, I get the view model stuff for free. Everyone's happy. DI injection, yada, 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 all the things. So I think then all that is left is this gets data bind value becomes view model.name. And then I'm going to have to figure out how to data bind that sucker through, but then I can do OK view model and just send the same view model right back. I think that works. Any reason that doesn't work? Not that I can think of. Okay, I like doing this. I like doing this. I'll probably move some of these things into commands or similar. But for now, that is going to, I think, serve my purpose. Because in our room view model, what we really want to do is pop the dialog. The MudBlazor docs showed on the dialog how to get the result back. Let's see. Nope, that's divider, not dialog. Let's try again. Passing data. That was passing data in. Right. No, you can await you can do show async, await the dialog, and get the result back out. So we're already in an async method. Show async. Our result gets await, right? And this comes through here. Now, did they have to do anything on their types to make sure that? So this was their dialog reference, right? That was the return type from here, was a dialog reference. Yeah. Dialog reference dot result. How do I go from there? So result dot data dot toString. Real world scenario, blah blah blah. I'm just confused as to how do I lose my strong typiness? That would really suck. This is just passing back a server ID. That would be really disappointing if there wasn't a... I assume I could send back a strong type. But they're just doing... So they're doing dialog result dot data. Dialog result dot... How did they get data? Am I missing something? So... Oh, await dialog dot result. Got it. There we go. Okay, so data is of type object, and then I would have to data cast and check for canceled. But what? Oh, they deprecated the 2L version of canceled, and you use the 1L. Got it. Got it. I get it. So they get the so show async, gets you back the dialog reference. You await the dialog dot result. You verify it wasn't canceled. Okay, so that gets me the dialog reference. This gets me here. If not canceled, and I think I'm going to do and data dot data. I feel like this needs to be dialog result. That really needs to be there. And dialog data is how about user dialog view model? User view model. Do that, then we'll do the useful stuff. Right? So if we come boom, 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 and we will grab this. Let's see. So is name modal open? We will want to kill that at some point, but then we want to grab this guy here and see if we actually get the data flowing through. So what I want to see is the component. What are you unhappy about? Oh, the generated in my Razor. User dialog view model. I need a using statement for that. Okay. So what I want to see is this is data bound to my viewModel.name property. When I open the dialog, I want to type in a name. I want to hit OK, and I want to see that name property flow all the way through. That's what we're going for. That's what success looks like. Or we're just going to crash immediately on site and watch it burn and die. Okay. What are you unhappy about? Cannot provide value for view model because it is not. Oh, I didn't actually register it, so that kind of makes sense. Builder services add scoped. How about user dialog view model? Booyah. Okay, we'll do that next. If you don't register the type with your DI container, it doesn't know anything about it and can't create anything. So for those people unfamiliar with DI containers, you can kind of think of them like a recipe book. I just told the system to create a cake, and it said, I don't know what a cake is. So I told it what a cake was. Speaking of cake, cake sounds like a great name. Boom. Okay, so dialog result came through. Great. Canceled is false. Data is the view model. Cake is the oh, that's that. Oh, mwah, mwah. Okay, so that gets me to there. Data flows. Everyone's happy. Poof. Okay. Now we got to clean up some of the other stuff because we've got some stuff going on here that is completely broken. So one, you're gonna get rid of this. Get rid of the. We'll leave the to do for here. Yeah, this is just loading cache data because, at least for our team, we pretty much just go back to the same room every time, and we all, like, typically you want the same role and the same name as you used the day before, so poof, it just stores it in a cookie and away we go. Close on escape key. I'm wondering if this should be true or false, but we'll deal with that in a minute, and we'll need to deal with actually leveraging this data because this isn't updating anything at all. Let me look at room view model. Did I whack anything in here that was important? Oh boy. White space off. Okay, so apparently got a white space difference. That's exciting. Because this isn't updating the user's name, which is interesting to me. Huh. That's a little shocking that it wasn't like leveraging the data in any way. The previous dialog must have been straight up applying it to the name. Oh, that's exactly what it was. The previous one was, let's see, user view model name. Okay, so that'll go through there. Let's change the layout on the main page now to actually start working. So step one, we kind of just want to burn this whole thing down. I don't think I need anything about, so I'm just double checking. I don't think I need nor want anything related to this dialog left. So we're just going to delete all of that. So that just goes away. Right, so we're going to get rid of all of that. And then we're going to redo the entire layout in here with MudBlazor because I don't really want to think that hard. Okay, so we're going to stop this. I'm kind of tempted. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's undo the changes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go copy paste. We're going to leave the old one sitting there, and then we are just going to, yeah, we're just going to burn the whole thing to the ground and start over. Yeah, boom. Okay. We start from here, and we don't need the dialog service here because that's handled in our view model and DI injected there instead. We could almost move page title all the way down as well because we don't change the page title based upon the room. Maybe we should. Okay, so back to the main app. User comes in, we're going to assume they get past the dialog. We're going to pick on the vote, I think, is the most complicated one. I guess facilitate might be mildly more complicated. So things we need. We need something about the room, and we need a way to copy this. We need to have so up at the top here, depending on the user's role, there's different interactable elements, I guess. So if you are a team member and voting, you get voting buttons. If you are a facilitator, you get the vote timer doesn't work until you click reset votes. Interesting. You get the show votes thing to toggle on and off. You get a little checkbox that lets you automatically reveal. You can preview your team's votes. So if you want to, because the team members, all they see is check marks when somebody votes. Sometimes it's nice to be able to see the votes coming in ahead of time. So we will We will do something akin to that. And then if you are an observer, you just don't get anything, right? You only get the ability to preview or not. So a lot of these settings, or I should say preview, is a setting that is local only. Like if somebody wanted to get really fancy with this, again, there's zero security. You could just watch the payload going back and forth to see all your team's votes if you wanted to do that, right? Like it's not overly complicated to do. Like this was not built around security. Mostly because if you wanted to see the votes, you could just flip yourself into a different role too and go and look at it. Like it's not hard. So this is a local only, but these ones here actually change. There's a bit of state that's held up in the server that manages like who's in the room and what the votes are and all that jazz. So there's a little bit, and this goes as part of that state. So we need something along up here and all of that stuff. So let's figure out the easiest way to do this. And I think what I want to do, show me the code. I think I want to do something like this. So one thing I'm curious on, yeah, this is what I want to see. How to do this kind of layout, because I think this is what I want. Is this uses the standard, okay. Got it. Mud width full. And we figured out that that was just the spacing stuff around it. So that's not a big deal. This is justify center. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, perfect. Because I think this is what I want to do. Where I lever, because my brain, when I'm doing layout, thinks in grids. I like grids. My brain very much appreciates a grid. So I think that's where I want to... The column would supply at all breakpoints, excess and up. Let's see here. So this says causes it to change at a specific breakpoint. So I should be able to see something like that happen. Yeah. That's... Access 12, yeah, so this is each of these. So I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to set up something with the grid. Oh, move the slider to add or remove items. Oh, this is perfect. And I can change the size of them. Center. Space evenly. So if I do a bunch of 3s, right? Space evenly. That totally works, right? Because the voting buttons we have, what do we have for the votes? We have, I think, 12. So here, if we have 12, and I crank all of you down to 1s, this is basically just the show code. There's there, and then it's just set up that. Okay, that's fairly easy to do. I think a grid is what I want. Basic grid. Yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't just do this. So let's start with a grid and we'll work backwards from there. Okay. So basic grid. And then I would like to start off with something like this. I want the top level thing to fill the whole. Nope, did I copy that? Let's try again. Boom. There we go. Okay, so here, what I want this guy to be is the equivalent of this bit along the top. So I guess I actually don't want it full width. I kind of want one that sizes up nicely and does that maneuver. So the first item, I guess I actually only want it to be something like this. And I want to come in here and I want this to be room, and then view model dot room ID. I want to do that, and then want to do probably an outline button. So we'll come over to here and we will come up to buttons again. Buttons. And I want, where was the outline button? This thing. I think we just want to do varied outline. I don't want to do anything too fancy because this is just for the copy bit. So I don't want it to be overly fancy. We'll do that, and this needs to be called copy invitation URL. Let's see here. Copy invitation URL. That goes like that. That goes like that. That goes like that. Oh, I did this wrong. This goes inside of a mud item. Excess is 2. And then that goes inside of there. That goes like that. Okay, great. Then we want another mud item. And this is going to be excess 8, right? And then we want to do something like well, it's going to be a very similar mud button, right? Because this is going to be the one for up here, and this is going to be the user's name. This will be view model dot current user dot name. So that goes something like that. We'll need to, let's do a was the add pencil icon. That goes there. I guess we should do. Okay, that goes like that. That goes like that. That makes a thing on the right. Let's just look and see if it looks even remotely close to what I was going for. I guess we could change our drop down to get the other launch setting. We broke. The following routes are ambiguous. Oh, you can't have 2 pages on the same route. Oh, and I just said I was gonna not do that. Nope. We're gonna fix it because if I don't fix it now, I'm not gonna fix it later. Change you straight into test room. There we go. Now we don't have to do anything weird or fancy and get that going. Okay, so launch in. You'll note the only thing this is really doing is just pre-canning a URL into a thing in here. Okay, so foo. Great. Don't care. Enter. Okay. That thing also I'm noticing is setting. I bound to the wrong thing. This should be viewModel.name. Not current user.name. Okay, because this is the thing setting up. Okay, so there's some text problems there. There's some issues there. That's fine. We hot reload that sucker. Okay, so that shows up there. That shows up there. This is not even remotely aligned properly, but it has all of the elements that we were going for. Okay, we carry on. I saw in the docs there was a separator thingy. I would like to read those docs. What's it? Oh, divider, that's what it was. List dividers, great. Insert dividers. Just kind of want a divider right up the middle. Is that show code? Can I just drop? Yeah, I think I just want that. Right? I just want a line. I don't want to think too hard. I just kind of want to do that. And then I want you to be XS 12, right? Something like that. We hit the magical button. We hit over here. Nada. Oh, do you need to be inside of Muda? Is that the deal? That the magical? Hot reload. There we go. Okay, so now we got a divider going along there. That works out great. Okay, now the question, right? So the old one has effectively 3 areas, 3 group boxes that show up when there are people in here, right? Team members is always visible because if you don't have people voting, what are you doing? Like, get out of here. Having all facilitators is worthless. You need people to vote. So this one's always visible, but facilitators and observers show up conditionally based upon the presence. Like, we don't show the observer ones. And I think there's a minor desire here, right? So if we go here, right, and I'm gonna just launch a second one here. Kevin 2, right? Vote, update, right? So if Kevin 2 goes and votes, and Kevin 1 wants to facilitate, right? So he can preview the vote, see that, yep, he has voted 2. When we show the votes, there's this thing over here, right? And this layout works, but may not necessarily be desirable, right? Like, this is kind of convenient and kind of obnoxious all at once. Like, we could put all of this together into one thing. Trying to decide if I keep this layout or not. It may be worth keeping it, just for simple sake. The big disadvantage is you can see the layout doesn't scale nice and it doesn't resize well and all that jazz. So I kind of want to fix that while I'm at it. Let's look real quick. I think MudBlazor probably has a group container or something. Let's look. Look, there's a arbitrary container. Ooh. Hold on. New idea. We could bar chart this sucker. Rather than a... Okay, new plan. New plan. Rather than just doing a table, if we've got access to nice charting stuff, yeah, I'm kind of thinking donut chart or bar chart. Okay, we'll come back to this. So for showing the votes, we may completely abandon this garbage because at the end of the day, it's all about trying to reach consensus. So you don't get a lot of disparate votes. I mean, typically you don't, but at the end of the day, there's usually kind of a convergence where people kind of come towards the middle. Some come up, some come down. There's more discussion, yada, yada, yada. What I'm looking for, though, is a good way to display the list of users, right? Because I want to group them such that, you know, team members are in one place, facilitators are in another place, observers are in a different place, right? That's kind of what I want. Stack bar, stacks, swipe area, tabs. Tree view. I'm surprised I don't see. I mean, we could just use the regular card control. You know, I saw that earlier. Avatar? Oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's interesting, but I don't know if I actually care about that nearly as much. Because nothing's authenticated, it's not like there's anything to show there, but that's useful. We may end up using like the badges to show when somebody's voted and when somebody hasn't. That's a potential play around point. Yeah, maybe we just do the card. Does the card have a... Because we could do a card and build out the equivalent of what it does. Header, show me the code. Card header actions. Card content, card actions. Yeah, maybe we just do some mud cards and call it a day, because these seem to be the easiest way to go through and do it. Because I can do a header. Yeah, let's just do something like this. Let's just do something like this. Okay, so let's see. Mud item. And I think what we're going to do is we're just gonna XS12 and okay, card header. This is going to be, what do we call it? Team members. I think is what we called it. Can't remember. Yeah, team members, facilitators, observers. We're gonna do team members there. We don't need actions here. Card content, and then card actions. We don't need any card actions. And then down here is where we're actually going to put the list of people, right? To do put in people. We'll need to do that. Well, let's just duplicate this up real quick. So we're going to do there. And we're going to do facilitators. And then we're going to go here. Oop, nope. And we're going to go here. And we're going to go observers. Something like that. Something like that. Something like that. We hit the fire button. We come over here. We got a reasonable layout. Right? And I think inside of team members, that's where we'll put the chart. I like this. 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 Okay. Next, we need a section above this where we put in the controls for people, right? So if the person's in the role of a team member, they get the voting buttons. And I think what we're going to do is I do a grid in a grid. Or maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe what I actually want to do is a horizontal stack inside of the grid. Let's go back and look at that stack. Because this thing here, when you are in the Where's my other? Must have closed it. Did I close it? No. When you're in here, this set of buttons is very much hard-coded, right? Or somewhat hard-coded. It doesn't feel great, right? And more importantly, doesn't look great on a phone. I'd like this to work on my phone. I'm wondering, like, there's no reason these things have to be separate rows, and I wouldn't mind if somebody decided to open it this way, having it float all the way across wouldn't be the end of the world. So I'm wondering if we do this and we just set it up like that. And we do something like this. Yeah, something like this, I think. We set row true. We justify them. Or justify center. And then we just slap all the items inside of there. I think I love it. I think I love it. We're going to do that. Copilot, back off. You're ruining my fun and spoiling the ending. I appreciate you trying, but go away. XS12, because I definitely want, because this is going to be, these controls we're going to conditionally hide and show later based upon the user's role. This becomes center, right? Justify center. And so this becomes, right, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, right? That's another thing that we want to add at some point is the ability to change these up rather than it being a hard-coded value or a hard-coded set of options. For now, this works for our team, therefore it works for all the intended users. If other people want to use it, have fun. 13, let's see, 21, 34, 55, 89. 13, 21, and honestly, I'm almost tempted to just, I think we kill them off by making them customizable, because just, like, we already have people that get twitchy when we go above 21, or get to 21, so, I can't imagine the use case where we have an 89 and it's not, just complete throwaway. Okay, so we do that, we do that, we do that. We hit the hot button and we come over here and we go poof. Okay, so they aren't sized well. They probably need to be buttons and whatnot, but that is functional, and I kind of like that. Okay, next set of things we want to slap in, and I think we also do these in a stack, is the facilitator controls. We just need some toggles, preview, simple set of things. So we're going to do this. And I'm going to leave we'll leave it here for now. Okay, so this is justify start. Flex start is probably correct. And these ones here are going to not be these, but they are going to be whatever the toggly control is, which I think I saw the toggles. Are they not called toggles? Check boxes, maybe? What are they called? Carousel card, chips. Ooh, what is this? Ooh. Oh, this is what we should use on the dialogue. I like these. I like these. Because these are just the regular chips? Yeah. Yeah, we'll come back to yes, so much. This is why I want to use MudBlazor. So many nicer controls to just play with and have fun with. Ooh, drop zones. Yeah, because this is one of the other things that I'd love to do is add the ability for a facilitator to like just take a team member and drag them down to observer or something. Because there's a handful of times where like somebody leaves and forgets to sign out. It's kind of annoying because there is no way to kick effectively. Let's see. What we were after, wherever those toggles were. Actually, you know what? These are really mutually exclusive items. I was kind of wondering if we should do the... Yeah, this isn't the right control. Oh, they were under the forms and inputs. Yes. And they were the slider switch. There they are. Okay. Basic switches. May need to do some coloring. Switch label. So I kind of want... I kind of want something about like this. Let's come over here and stop it. Okay, so this guy here needs to bind to view model dot show votes. I think that's what the other one was bound to. Let's just double check that real quick. Let's see. Vote shown is what the first one was bound to, which I think is what we just did. Vote shown is what it's bound to. Perfect. Color success. That works. Label should be show votes. And poof. And then we had a checkbox for preview or automatically reveal votes. I wonder why we did a checkbox here and not another toggle. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna just do them as all toggles. You know what? There's no reason not to. But I think we're gonna do a slightly different color. Because I don't think it makes sense to have the other one. So view model, auto show votes, and then we're just gonna steal this guy, and then we're gonna slap that on there, and then I think we're gonna do the same thing. What are the color options here though, rather than info? Success, tertiary, primary. Assume there's secondary down here as well. We don't really want to go... We'll just do info on the second one as well. And then this one binds to preview votes. Okay. So we hit the fancy button. We go and stop. We relaunch the app because reasons. Oh, and we didn't change the label. Whoopsie, 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 whoopsie. It needed to be called preview votes. And boom, 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 boom. Hot reload that sucker. Kevin, my enter key isn't working, which bothers me. Okay, so show votes, preview votes. I like that. I like that I can click over here now and have it automatically go. That makes me feel much better. That should be how it works. Excellent. Okay, so that goes there. That goes there. Observer just doesn't need to be there. There's all the elements, I think. Oh, we have the charts. Yeah, we'll deal with those later. Okay, so let's start getting this thing plugged in and actually working with some better data. Because this isn't really working with data yet, and that's a bit of a problem. So we have various things. So there's all these helpers I have in there for like is facilitator and whatnot. So we can come over here. So for starters, this is going to be, if it's a facilitator, they get to see these controls. Boom, done, right? No, not hard, right? This one down, or this one up here, it becomes if view model is team member, boom, then they get to see these controls. Very, very easy. We don't make this complicated. Boom, done. That works. Okay. Now down here, we want to create a list of people, and you really need so this one really should be, let's see, if, so we can look at what the condition was before for hiding the list of things. Oh, we didn't do the vote timer. We should get that fixed. Okay, so we did have this before as well. And yeah, so if there were, it was just a check for any. So if facilitators any or observers any, do the needful. Okay, so we can come over here and we can come up here and we can just slap that in. So this becomes if facilitators.any, then we will gen this box and put them in. And then this becomes if observers any, then we will put in the next box. And just clean this up so it's not as busy. Okay. That goes there, that goes there, that goes there. It indented MudGrid, and that concerns me because it shouldn't be thinking that it needs to indent, and I'm worried I've misgrouped something. That goes there, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there. Don't know why you're trying to indent. Okay. You just lost your mind. That's okay with it. Okay, so now we got to put in the list of people. So let's go back to the MudBlazor-y stuff. And I know I saw lists. Let's do lists. Okay, so I don't really want a selectable list. And I could almost just for each this thing, but the dragging intrigues me. I don't know if I really want any of these things. We might just do text and call it a day. Yeah, I don't think I actually want a list. Because at the end of the day, the number of people in one of these things is not big. It's not like we ever want to really scroll them or anything. So we might just for each them. Yeah, I think we just for each them. We do a mud field and call it a day. Show code. Yeah, I think we might do that and just call it a day. We could also do it as a card, but I don't think I really... That's too much. I want it to be pretty lightweight. So let's just do a mud field and iterate over all of them. So we're going to go here. Here, we're going to go... and actually, probably just steal that. Let's see here. So there is a mild amount of cleverness inside of here because we want to do a little bit of differences. So we're going to do this, and then this becomes a let's see, mud field of Waiting for team members to join. Because if there's nobody there, we make it look like we're waiting for people. Okay, so previously we were doing this span thing and showing these votes and doing all that stuff. But MudBlazor, I believe, has little icon-y bits. Icons. Should it not be mud text instead of mud field? Ah, good point. I think I was just looking at the other one. Thank you. Good catch. I don't know how what that actually translates into and how it's different, but okay. So I would like cool, because they have the material design icon stuff. Lovely. Yes, and they give you the nice little, oh yes, mwah. Mud field equals input. Got it. What is the difference then between mud field and mud text field? Because there's field and text field. Ah, field is like the read-only variant. Inherits the same look and behavior as text field, but has no input. So it looks like a text field, but it's not a text field. This is, it looks like a duck, but it doesn't quack. Okay, great. I was worried it would be simple and make sense. Okay. So if votes are shown, we want to actually concatenate and show the user's vote. The other thing that we do is if the user changes their vote, I should read this. Reading is OP. The one thing that we do is once the votes are shown and everybody can see what everyone else voted, we let people change their votes, but we put their original vote alongside so that it's obvious that they changed after they saw what everyone else voted, which isn't really a bad thing, but the whole point with the Scrum Poker is to try to get people to actually figure out and think how big something is, and not just defer to, well, Kevin said it was a 5, therefore it's a 5. Like, because certain people who know the areas generally can try to sway votes, but the idea is you try to sway the votes without saying numbers ahead of time and say, you know, I think this is big because blah, or, you know, this is probably going to take X, Y, and Z in order to get this done, and then people can kind of come to the conclusion. Because sometimes people will vote and you'll be like, hang on, why'd you vote a 5 when everybody else was voting 2s? It's like, well, didn't you hear all the things that, you know, he listed off that we had to do? That sounds like a lot of work. And it's like, well, yeah, it sounds like a lot of work, but it's really only blah, 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 right? So at the end, as long as the team comes to a shared understanding, we're good. Because I cheated here and just did it all in text. I could just do it all in text again. Maybe for now we'll do it all in text, but then we should come back and do this differently. So let's do this. The only thing I can't do like this is style the individual bits, right? Let me go look at typography. This doesn't let me style individual bits. You end up styling them. I guess you could do a little bit. Okay, so you can go mud text and then I guess you can style individually inside of there. Okay, so that probably works. So this P becomes mud text, right? That goes like that. We slap in the user.name. I don't think we do. I guess we leave the span in. We probably don't care about this. I'm just trying to decide what makes sense to put in and what makes sense to leave out. Because this has all of these. You know what? Let's just leave it as is. I think switching it from mud text will actually make it look and work the exact same. And this guy here should probably be mud text as well. Just to put that in. Oh, shoot, I'm editing the wrong one. This is why making copies is bad. That's already mud text. This guy just needs to be mud text. Then we're good. Okay, so that goes in. That works. That works, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's test it real quick. So I should be able to see it go through. Because I think it's all, like, this is the beautiful part, is it should already be working. I might have to get my rules set, and I probably have to get that dialog wired up. Yeah, we're gonna need to do that. I think if I go here though, I think this will automatically put me in the other role. No, it won't. So we might have to get the dialogue working so that we can actually test our way into these cases. Selected role ID. Let's come in here. Let's just grab this really quick. I refresh. Yeah, I've broken so much interaction. It's kind of annoying. Foo. Boom. Okay, so this sets the name to foo. Huzzah. New user role. This pulls back the role. Great. Selected role ID. Puts me into... It basically, the first one in gets to be the facilitator, and then everyone else gets to just be team members, and then they can change from there. This is just the starting role. So that comes in, that works, that works. Okay, so that goes in, but I don't get a call into here when that launches. I'm wondering if I should just pre-can some data for testing room for the purposes of this to make it work. So I can see it. So I can see it go before. I would hope that it would post that, but it's not pulling in any team members. I'm actually a bit surprised that it doesn't have any team members. There was an interaction here that has been lost that I am missing in here. Where does it actually register for connecting and adding the user? Join room. This is the call that needs to be made so that I can actually be in the room. So where are you? You are there. And you are there. These are the two places that need to exist. Oh, submit dialog async. So this is what's not happening. What was calling this before? So when our dialog closes, this is what needs to happen. So the enter key would submit the dialog. And the old one must have also had submit dialog async. Yeah, so the old one, when the user closed the dialog, would also call it. Okay, so that's really just all we're missing, is we need this logic to be invoked down here. And actually, this probably needs to come up. I don't know where this needs to go. This needs to go somewhere, probably into the dialog. Submit dialog async. This guy comes in here, grabs the name, grabs the selected role ID. So actually, we'll do this. So if we bring this down here, do this, we put the name assignment back. This is not great, but then we can do this, and that should actually add us into the room. Okay. Because before everything was all jammed into the one page, and we're trying to break it apart. So at some point, some of these functions are going to relocate. You don't matter. Let's see, Kevin, and this should automatically put me into the facilitator bucket. Yeah, so now I join the room. Facilitators isn't populated. We didn't write any code for that yet. But if I come here and join with a second user, because there's already one in the room, it should put my role as team member by default. Or it's just going to join me in automatically. That's disappointing. Last room ID. And because I don't have a way of getting out of it. Do this in an incognito window. Boy, it doesn't pick up the cookies. Bad cookies. Bad cookies. You unfortunately did my job. Okay, if I do foo, I should be in a voter role. I should get assigned to a voter role. Yeah, so that puts me in there. That puts me there. There we go. We have foo. Foo is now in the team member role. Huzzah. Okay, so that much is working. We don't have voting buttons wired up or anything, so we can't actually test the votes. What we can test is showing votes. Yeah, and the automatically revealing votes going to off when this thing toggles is expected, right? This almost could be a button rather than a toggle, and that might be a better way of going about it. But a toggle is what it was, so we'll leave it there for now. Okay, that's in. Let's get the facilitators rendering properly too. So they're going to be basically the same thing. I think if we just go here, we can do, this is going to be, facilitators go here, mud text, done. And then we can do the same thing for the observers, which are going to be very complicated. They go here, they go here. And we're just going to go here, and we're going to go with mud text. That goes like that. That goes like that. Everyone's happy. That goes through. Okay, cool. That gets at least the rendering of those in. Let's do voting buttons next. These should probably be mud buttons, because I want them to be clicky. But I'm wondering, no, they don't really make sense as a button group. Toggle icon button, nah, that's not. Ooh, this might be better for showing the votes as a toggle icon button. That could be better rather than a switch. Okay, so I kind of want this variant filled. Wait, you set the icon size to get the, oh, got it. No, you set size, got it. Icon size is different. Got a customized button. Color white, Cool. So you can do this type of thing here, which is perfect. Because I think I want a little bit of, this. Okay, so let's come here. We're gonna do this. I don't want an end icon. I do want to change a style, but I don't want to do the colors. I want to look over here at the previous voting buttons. Because this thing had a vote button row. Yeah, so this was doing this garbage to change the class up and slap it in. So I think what we want to start with is this. Can I do that and start there? I think is what I want. So I would like to replace all of you with that. So let's do bulk select, paste, and then I want to do paste. Oh, nope. But I grabbed that. Apparently not. Across, paste. The same thing for the 2-character ones. Paste, paste, paste. Okay, so that should get me to there. Let's see how that looks. Because I believe that style or class actually has the fixed width height set on there. And we'll see. Waiting for team members to join. Let's. One, we're going to kill that breakpoint. For the purposes of testing this, let's go with kill that for the moment, and we're just going to go with selected role ID gets role team member .id. We're just gonna hard code ourselves into the team member role for now. That way I don't have to think real hard and like open extra windows and do fancy stuff. Oh, because it was cached. Bad cache, bad cache, bad cache. Yeah, open the dev tools. I want to go delete that stupid cookie. Let's see, applications, cookies, here, room ID. Yeah. So blow that away. Let's try this one more time. Because if it doesn't find a role, it's going to pop the dialog, or at least it should pop the dialog. Say, I don't know who you are. That's okay. You don't need to know who I am. Yeah, and let me in. Okay, so that did something. I would like it to be the what was the how do I get the primary color one? Color primary. That's what I want. I would like that. So let's just and nope, space, nope, space, nope, space. There we go. That was a little harder than it needed to be. We come here. Okay, so that makes them prettier. I don't need that one. Goes away. Lock that in. Okay, so that gets me to there. I thought, and maybe I need to just double check my CSS, that vote button had a size to it. Yeah, it's got a width and a height. So something no bueno here. Open dev tools. Something's overriding something else. Let's see. Let's see here. Who is Let's first find mine. Button buddy root. No, where is... Okay, so vote button didn't get applied, which is why it no worky. What did I do wrong here? So let's see. Class I thought would have applied vote button, but apparently not. Vote button. Where is that? Oh, it did apply vote button. It's like the style sheet didn't get loaded. I am confused. Why would it have not loaded in the style sheet? Because I didn't tell it to? Interesting. Okay, so that I have broken. And I don't know. I'm wondering if that line there is the kicker of how it pulls it in. So let's go back to www root. Let's put you back in place. Let's stop. Let's do a full rebuild really quick. I am curious because I don't... There's a mechanism by which it takes your CSS, bundles it up, and ships it out. And I am not 100% confident in how that process works. But I know it works. And therefore, I must have broken something. And so the question becomes... Okay, so there's vote button. Okay, so yeah, so that guy there being absent from before meant that the style wasn't there to be applied. Now when I look at you, vote button should be in the list, right? Because it has vote button. And I expect to see it over here now. Why would it not even show up in my dev tools list, despite the fact that this thing is here? Have I done bad things with my CSS? I don't think I have. I don't think I have, but it is vote button, and it has that tacked on to the end of it because that's how it's able to differentiate between the elements. But that doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's look at their docs. Because this is a customized one where they just straight up inline the style. But is there not a way to do a... So not a way to do the class. I don't understand.
Custom class classes. Child component. That isn't quite what I'm looking for. Got it. That's also not there. I'm thinking this is just an ignorance portion on my thing that may not be worth hashing out right this second, but something is clearly no worky there. But we can still get the button working. Let's look at what it was bound to before. So its on click is here. Let's see here. So this is what we want to do. We want to do something like this. Okay, so we come back over here. This guy wants to be this. This guy wants to... Because before we were toggling here. And I think what I want to do is I want to do something like color gets we'll move this down inside. We want to do this. I want to toggle this thing back and forth, but I'm going to do it with the color property instead. So rather than this, it becomes color dot success, and then color dot default is probably reasonable. That will do that. That will do that. We're going to copy this sucker up to here. This goes like that. We get the button thing. We then want this to be whatever option is. And then we want to register up a on click gets this thingy. And this goes away. This goes away, and we don't need any of this stuff. Okay, let's test it. Because now we should even be able to test the... Well, I have to remove the hard-coded role ID if I want to test the toggles. If I do this... we can see that it does go in there and have that work. Okay, so if we come back and we do... Let's fix the spelling because the squiggle is bothering me. If we come back and put this back in place, and then comment out this, then we should be able to see that work. Because in theory, all of this is working. This thinks it's... Oh, we probably, hang on, we got to blow away the stupid cookies. Stupid cookies. Go to... All ID, there. And then relaunch. Main dude sounds great. He will be the facilitator. Our incognito window, which I thought I already had opened. Apparently not, or I closed it because I am dumb. We'll copy the URL, paste it. This one should now prompt me for a name as well. but I should get put into the team members list. Voter. Boom. So we should see the voter votes. And because this thing is set to auto reveal votes, it goes through and do. Oh, we didn't do the reset button. If we turn this off, and then we do 8, 13, 21. All right, we can turn off the preview. And so then as I vote, you don't get to see it anymore. But that's that signal R action right there of like that beautiful real-time-ness that it gives it to you. So the other thing that I'm noticing is wrong is I think the previous one let you see your own vote even before the things were shown. Let's look. Update, reset, vote, update. Oh, no, it didn't show you your vote down here. It just gave you the check mark. Interesting. Okay. That's on feature parity, though the color isn't toggling way. Oh, probably because I didn't actually set it, did I? Yeah. So I went to the effort of creating a ternary and then proceeded to not use it. So that doesn't work real well if you don't actually like use the value that you set. That's okay. I don't like default. Do primary. Of course. There, that's better. I like that better. So now you can see the... There. Now you can see the votes go in. That seems a little nicer. Yeah, that looks nicer. That will do. And then we can show the votes. Huzzah. All right, you can see I changed. We can hide it and go, ooh, ooh. No, automatically reveal votes. So automatically reveal votes, all it does is once all team members have submitted a value, it just automatically toggles for you. The one thing we missed is the reset button for the facilitator. Let's see. If facilitator... I think we're going to just put it right here. So, mud button. Let's do... I think we want this same... We actually want something similar to this, but we want the color here to be color... I think error. Like we really want it to be... Or let's try warning. And then let's look at what it was bound to before. Yeah, reset votes. Boom. Becomes reset votes. Clicky, clicky. And then we go here. Go here. Where's my... Hit hot reload. Go do the thing. Okay, sudo give me a button. Pretty please. There we go. Yeah, I think reset votes being yellow is probably acceptable. So now when I vote, right? At the end, it reset the votes. Yeah, I think I like the yellow over making it red. We'll see. Well, ultimately, I think I'm going to go through the theme colors and tweak them so that we get something a little nicer. Theme it more towards our stuff, and we got to get this. This guy here needs to get off the edge, and I want to bring in the content here in the layout. I think needs to be brought in off the edges a little bit, but that's that can be done at a later point. So that gets at least the basic voting and facilitation in place and all working. I think that's pretty good. We got the user list working, we got the voting buttons working. The only thing that's not functional at this point is the buttons at the top. But at least functionality-wise, everything else is in. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to leave this here for now. And I am on a branch, right? I am on a branch. Starting work, converting over to MudBlazor. We're going to commit that and push it. Because it is midnight for me. I should probably sleep at some point, but I am really happy with MudBlazor. This is an awesome framework. So if you are doing Blazor, check it out because this is a delight to use. And I do think I'm going to change up the voting to leverage their charts because this just, yeah, I feel like Donut is probably going to win. Yeah, I might do something like that and just list it out because at the end of the day, the existing one, when votes come in, you get this chart and really all that matters is that we show, you know, who are the highest votes. And I think we could do that here, right? I'm guessing I get to pick these. Yeah. So there's the values and the labels. And I think I would just be sticking the counts in on so I would combine the data and labels into them. But yeah, so total. Well, that's cool. They do a total in the middle. Custom graphics. That's kind of clever. I kind of like putting something in the middle of like once one of the values exceeds maybe, I don't know, 60 or 70% of the vote, just slap it in. I kind of like that. Or maybe it should be a simple majority. Like once you pass 50%, it's kind of hard to tell, right? Because a Scrum team could easily have 5 people voting. That's not an unheard of number. And would you want to show the number if 3 people voted one way and 2 people voted a different way? Or would you want to call for discussion? I feel like you'd want to call for discussion. It seems like you'd want to set the thing a little bit differently, or maybe we'll change the style. Like if it's only between like 50 and 70%, we'll do it, you know, in italics, and if it gets above 70%, we'll go bold or something. That could be a fun little thing to slap in the middle. But I think I like that. But regardless, cool. Thank you everyone for coming and hanging out. I appreciate all the feedback. Matt's Powers, I appreciate your Blazor knowledge and MudBlazor, which has been quite helpful since this is, like I said, very much new territory for me being able to do this. For those people interested in the WPF material design and XAML stuff, the 5.0 thing, I am going to just keep plowing on. I'm going to be gone out of internet access again this weekend, so I'm hoping to try and get the last of the feedback addressed before I leave, so that thing can go in and sit. Crossing fingers, we'll see how that goes. And then back at it again, but I was poking at it the last couple nights and kind of needed, sometimes you just need to let your brain take a break and learn something new and have a little fun. So with that, I'll tell everyone happy coding. See you all next time.